Hi guys, very good afternoon to all of you. Well, I see a lot of activity, a lot of students are already chatting about what happened in the exam today. Well, few things did happen unexpectedly, or rather I should say expectedly, because that's what happened last year also. So I'll take you through what happened there. However, before I start off, let me give you a small information. I did not write the exam today. My slot is tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So I'll be doing an analysis tomorrow again at 2 p.m. or rather 3 p.m. So I'll be giving my analysis there. This analysis that I'm doing is based on my colleagues who have written the exam. I personally did not write the exam, as I said. So my analysis is based on what they have given, the questions they have brought. I've been able to go through the questions very quickly. So based on that, I'm going to give you the analysis, right? So yes, so I have. So let's start off with the things which were weird in this particular exam today. So firstly, the overall section, it's not about being weird or anything. It is easy to moderate. Relatively, the paper was easier than last year. So you can expect the cutoffs to go up. I'm going to talk about the cutoffs at the end of the session, so please hang on. Yes, it will go up by a decent number. But then the things that went wrong or should not have happened. Guys, the question, the paper is supposed to be for 1 hour or rather 150 minutes, right? That is 2 hours 30 minutes. This is what was mentioned. Now, did all of you get 150 minutes or did you get more? I want to see some responses. Did all of you get 150 minutes or more? Anyone? Shubham is asking the same question. More. Okay. I got 180 minutes, 150 minutes. Ayush Diora says 150 minutes. Dheeraj Gupta says 180 minutes. Just Live says 150 minutes. So guys, I'll tell you what exactly happened. And now that I'm able to understand that. So my colleagues, a couple of my colleagues went and wrote the exam. The exam started with 180 minutes. The exam started with 180 minutes. Now, it is a glitch. This is not supposed to happen. But it started. Now, I don't know why a national level exam like MAH CET does these kind of goof ups. But yes, it happened. Then they realized sometime later, oh, we are giving it for 180 minutes, so we have to decrease the time. Obviously, they cannot decrease the time halfway in between. So then what happened in their test center? There was a computer error or a system error, and all computers, all systems stopped working. At 35 minutes to go, when it was 35 minutes left, all systems got stopped. Then there was an announcement that was made saying that, look, it is not 35 minutes for you, it is only 5 minutes for you. So the exam will stop after 5 minutes. Then the computer started again. The system started. But when they started, it again started with 35 only. It went to 30, it did not stop, and the timer continued. Then the announcement was made that, okay, we can't stop the exam, so continue for 30 minutes more. So, in effect, there are certain sections of the people, certain centers, where the total time given was for 180 minutes. Or the exam was for 180 minutes. And certain centers where the paper was for 150 minutes, like some of you are mentioning. So this is actually a huge goof up. We are talking about 30 minutes of a 2.5 hours paper, which is 20% more as time. And that's not a small amount. That can alter the marks of a lot of students. Now, what will MAH CET conveners do about it? Well, let's wait and see. Okay? And yes, some people were, a lot of complaints. Rough sheets were given late. Paper was started late. We could not get the things done properly on time. The paper itself was given half an hour late to me. All that paper, meaning the system started half an hour late or 20 minutes late. This was very common. Guys, please understand, this is not just this year. That is why I said unexpected or expected, because we expected something to go wrong, because MAH CET, and I'm going to say this out, usually I don't criticize exams, but now I'm saying it. This is the 4th or 5th year where such goof off has happened. Every year it happens. So we have come to expect something wrong to be happening. Okay? So that's what happens. Did it happen in Mumbai and Thane also? People, if you are listening to me, Mumbai and Thane people can respond. I got all quant questions only. JSPM paper was not jumbled, but it was not mentioned that it is sectional. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Section-wise naming was not there. There were no sectional, so there were no sections bifurcation there. Questions were coming one after the other. So you had logic, you had English, somewhere in between, a little bit of logic again, mostly quant at the end, then abstract reasoning at the very end. So that's what happened to my colleagues. But yeah, some questions were jumbled here and there, but mostly you had the section coming together. But I have seen one or two examples, one or two questions which are logic but coming in middle of quant. It has happened. But largely you can say it was continuous with respect to the section. However, you can't directly go to abstract reasoning, you can't directly go to quant, you can't directly go to verbal ability and reading comprehension, because section-wise bifurcation was not there. So you'll have to keep searching, where does my section start? If you're interested in English, you want to start with English, you have to search, where is English starting? Okay? So that's what happened. Right, so these are the basic two things which the students have to be aware of. Time difference and the sectionals are not mentioned easily, so you have to search for them. But once you get the starting point, usually the questions are continuous. And yes, the level was not at all difficult. It is not even moderate. I would say mostly it was easy to moderate. Okay? Okay, so I've got a lot of comments, charts coming over, but that's okay, I guess. We are just discussing who all are writing in slot 4. Okay, so guys, I am writing tomorrow morning, as I said, so you can catch me for the live tomorrow. But let's take a look at what happened today, the paper pattern. So paper pattern, thankfully, they stuck to what was announced, what was mentioned there. So at least there was no goof up in this. Logical reasoning, 75 questions. Abstract reasoning, 25 questions. Quant, 50, but if you notice, quant includes DI. This time there were 15 questions from DI. 3 sets, 5 plus 5 plus 5. 3 sets, there's one table, one pie chart, and there's one more table. There are 2 tables and 1 pie chart, if I'm not mistaken. So 15 questions from DI. All of them were doable, not a little bit of calculation, but they were doable. Okay? And 35 questions from pure quant. Verbal ability and reading comprehension, totally there were 50 questions. As you can see, the abstract reasoning was easy, but the other sections would be, in fact, I would say the entire paper is easy to moderate, depending upon your preparation levels. Okay, easy to moderate. Definitely I will not put the entire section as a moderate. None of these sections warranted a moderate rating by us. That's what we felt. Okay. Yes, RCs were easy, Shweta. That's correct. Shubham, I understand that. So let's see what we'll have to see, what they will do. Because 150 and 180, it's not a small amount. That's 30 minutes. 5 minutes itself, people fight and cry. You're talking about 30 minutes difference. So, well, I understand. I completely sympathize with you. But again, let's wait and see what will happen. Phoenix says, I got a jumbled paper. Phoenix, then that's a problem again. See guys, this is another issue. Okay, this is my question to all of you. Was the paper jumbled for any of you? Like all sections were jumbled up? Or did you have, once quant starts, only quant comes, once abstract reasoning starts, only abstract reasoning comes? How was it, guys? Was the paper jumbled? Some of you are saying it is jumbled. Some of you are saying that it is not jumbled. Someone jumbled, someone sectional, not jumbled. Yes, okay. Jumbled for me. Again, guys, this is another mistake. This is another very poor way in which a paper is being set. Remember, the advantage of having a non-jumbled paper, a straightforward paper, is if I'm a student who want to maximize my score in, let's say, quant and DI, I can just search for the starting point of quant and continuously answer 50 questions. Whereas a jumbled paper guy, a person who's got jumbled paper, they will have to search for that quant questions everywhere. You are not giving, as a paper setter, you are not giving equal footing to people. As it is, there is an issue with respect to the time. That's a huge issue. On top of that, some of them getting jumbled, some of them not getting a jumbled paper, in my opinion, is not done at all. Okay, this is not the way in which an exam is supposed to be conducted. Questions of same chapter jumbled in particular section. That is fine. When I say jumbled, guys, what I meant, please understand. Jumbled means quant a little, then DI a little, quant a little, then English a little, then logic little, then abstract reasoning, then again something else. See, within quant, DI is coming together or not doesn't matter. That's okay. All quant is together. But what I mean by jumbled is, jumbled means a little bit of quant, a little bit of abstract, then a little bit of quant again, then a little bit of RC, mixed up like that. Ayush. No, Keyur, I'm not going to solve the paper right now. By the way, guys, so how should you, those of you who are listening to me for tomorrow's session, some of you are listening to me for tomorrow's session, what should you be taken care of? First time is, see, time issue, there's nothing you can do. You got 150 minutes, you got 150 minutes, you got 180 minutes, be happy. There's nothing you can do about it. However, there is an issue of rough papers, rough sheets. Many of you are complaining that rough sheets were given late and I had to wait. Guys, please don't say that. Use your smartness, use your brain. If rough sheets are not there, you can obviously wait, but that's a stupid thing to do. What are you supposed to do? Start with abstract reasoning that does not require rough sheet. Start with English, RC that does not require rough sheet. Don't waste your time, right? So if you are prepared what to do, that's basically what is the logical thing to do. If you don't have rough sheets tomorrow, if they're coming late to you, ask them once, immediately get back into solving things which will not require rough sheet. Keep this in mind. Okay? Yes, Kushi, I understand paper was jumbled. This, again, how to prepare for tomorrow. Harshal, there's nothing much you can do today to prepare for tomorrow. Keep these things in mind that these can happen. If they happen, don't panic because you know that these things have happened today. Okay? But let's move on. Let's quickly take a look at the total number of questions from each one of them. So we have English, 2 passages of RC. So guys, this is what you can expect tomorrow. One large passage of 8 questions, one short, slightly smaller passage of 5 questions. This was predominantly easy. This was a moderate passage. Okay, the questions, the passage with 8 questions was easy. They were saying that about 5 to 6 questions were very straightforward. Probably 1 or 2 questions where a little bit you need to think. Whereas the other passage was not very straightforward, but it is not difficult either. It can be done. It is moderate level. Okay. Chandan, yes, a lot of people got a full 180 minutes paper. As I said, my colleagues have written the exam. In their center, they tried to cut off that 30 minutes. It could not happen. So they got the entire 180 minutes. So a lot of people had this 180 minutes. Okay. Yes, important topics, Harshal, I'm going to talk about it. Then again, we had only 2 grammar FIBs, but vocab. So there's a lot of vocab. Look at this. Vocab. All of these are vocab. So you got 10, 14 and 19 questions from vocab. And look at grammar. 2 questions here, 10 questions here. Again, vocab, these 5 also is 1 vocab. So 19 plus 5, 24 vocab. And we have grammar is 2 plus 10, 12 grammar. And 13, 13 are RCs. So this is basically what happened. 20, 30, 40, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I missed one somewhere. One of them, I think I missed one. That's okay, that's fine. But you basically have a predominantly vocab based paper. Then you have RCs and grammar. So make your choice for tomorrow and today's remaining slots accordingly. Okay. So if you are smart, you will pick those parts which you are good at. And guys, remember, because it is vocab heavy paper, the entire English 50 questions should have been completed in something like 30 minutes. You should not spend more than 30 minutes in the English part. Because it is vocab heavy, you will read it, either you know the answer, you don't know the answer, you will leave and get out. So 30 minutes is more than enough for this entire 50 questions. That's the whole idea for English. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the length of the RCs. As I said, there's a RC on culture 300 to 350 words and there were 5 questions here. Then there was a power and position which is 600 words large. It's a long RC. Obviously there were more number of questions also. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at logical reasoning. What are the important topics in logical reasoning that have come and what can come tomorrow? Okay, so we have a total of, once again, 75 questions from logical reasoning. So take a look at this, guys. Analogies for blood relations. 10 questions from blood relations. That's huge. 10 questions is a big number. Then we have another 10 questions coming from matrix arrangement. Matrix arrangement is basically matrix and linear. So linear arrangement is one line. Matrix is, X and Y, two-dimension arrangement. Like people matching people with colors that they're wearing, something like that. Whereas linear arrangement is only people sitting in a row. Who's sitting where? Whereas matrix is both X and Y, two-dimensional arrangement. So this arrangement is quite a lot. 15 questions totally have come from there. So the two biggest topics are your blood relations and your arrangements. Apart from this, we have coding, decoding. We have something very, very easy called dictionary arrangement. So they have given 6-7 words and they're asking you to arrange them in the dictionary order. And then they were asking which word comes fourth, which word comes fifth, and so on and so forth. Okay, so again, there's no, it's basic pure understanding of dictionary order. There's no calculation to be done. You just have to be observant, that's all. And there are 5 questions like that. Easy marks for the taking. Then 6 questions from direction sense. Again, these are the usually asked topics and there are no surprises here. But the number of questions they've asked, that's where I'll say is a surprise, because 10 from blood relations, 6 from direction sense, huge. So if you're good in these topics, you should be happy for tomorrow. Okay. As I said, Deepika, dictionary arrangement is nothing but giving you 6-7 words. They're asking you to arrange them in the dictionary order. Then they will say which is the 4th word and they'll give you 4 options or 5 options. That's basically what is the dictionary arrangement. Then we have letter series and number series. Of course, we have lot of letter series, missing letter, number series, all these series type of numbers, series type of questions. Okay. Yash Sahare, will tomorrow's paper differ much more from today's sectional wise? Yash, I don't know. I can't say, to be very honest, because ideally MAH CET is conducting it in 4 slots. Usually what my expectation is, when you're conducting a paper in different slots, like what CAT does, they try to keep the number of questions more or less same. For example, if I'm giving 10 blood relations questions, I'll at least give 8 or 9 tomorrow. It will not be so different that one group of people are getting 10, the other group of people are getting only 6 or are getting only 2. It will not be that variation. But yeah, typically 10 can go to 8, ideally. But again, given how MAH CET has managed things today, anything can happen. Okay. Then we have number series, missing numbers, missing letters, odd one out, syllogisms, Venn diagrams, and word change. Basically, word changes. If football is cricket, is called as cricket, cricket is called as hockey, hockey is called as tennis, and so on and so forth. So questions like those. Neha, क्या करे अब? Madam, अभी कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. We'll have to wait and see what they will do, what the exam conveners will do, how will they take this into account, to be very honest. Shantanu, matrix arrangement is nothing but 2-dimensional arrangement. You're supposed to arrange people along with colors, along with the position that they are sitting in. So who is sitting where along with what they are wearing, as an example. Those kind of things. So 2 parameters. It's not just one person sitting in a place. That is single parameter arrangement. It is people sitting and the color that they're wearing. So you're talking about people to be matched with 2 things. So 2 parameters. So 2 parameters is a matrix arrangement. Okay. Right. Let's move on. So what was it? What is the overall difficulty level, guys? Logical reasoning overall, I would say, is easy to moderate. Do you agree? Do you agree? Easy to moderate, not exactly easy, not exactly moderate, in between them. Right? Okay. Sony, we don't know what CET cell will do about it. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's move on. Then we have abstract reasoning. Overall difficulty was again easy. It was doable. It was not really confusing at all. In fact, what we discussed in the last lab was actually more difficult than what came up in the paper today. So I'm sure all of you who would have seen my last lab questions would have been able to answer them. Yes or no? Was it more difficult than what we discussed, guys? What do you say? The abstract reasoning section, was it more difficult than what we discussed in the last lab? Or was it easier? Okay, so Aparna says no. Mostly we are mirror and water image. Yes, they were similar. Very good. So you are all well prepared, I believe, because we have done a lot of such questions. Yeah, so in fact, many of you are not, we're not convinced that the paper is going to be easy. When I gave you easy questions, you are all asking me in the last lab series, sir, why are the questions so easy? I kept telling you, guys, abstract reasoning will not be very difficult. The most difficult was the third or the final last lab that we have done on Thursday. That was the most difficult that we have done. But the paper was not even close to that level of difficulty. Okay? Okay. Many questions came from mirror image, as I said, so that is something that if you are not aware of mirror image, please practice it today for a little bit for tomorrow. And total number of questions was 25. So mirror and water image. So please make sure that you are aware of those. Right, finally the quant and DI. Again, the section of quant and DI, total 50 questions, 35 from quant, 15 from DI. These were easy again to moderate. What do you say, guys? Verbal was, I would say, slightly towards the moderate side, but it is definitely not difficult. It is between easy to moderate, tilting towards moderate, I would say, verbal. Okay, but abstract reasoning definitely on the easier side. And quant and DI, what do you guys say? Hard. I would rate it as easy to moderate because I've seen the questions. They're not very, very difficult at all. They were not PNC. Yes, PNC was, there are 2 or 3 questions in PNC. We'll take a look at what happened. Ages, basically age-based problems. Averages, divisibility rule, numbers. Then we have linear equations, logs, this is logarithms, mixtures, numbers, profit and loss, permutation and combination. Then we have percentages, probability, ratio, SSEI, simplification, time and work, time and distance. These are the total number of questions that have come from quant. 35 questions from quant. So arithmetic, as you can see, what are the most important areas here? This is arithmetic. So let me count the arithmetic. Arithmetic, and arithmetic. So how many are there? 2 plus 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 14, 17, 18. 18 plus 8, 26 questions. 26 from arithmetic. Out of 35 in quant. 26 questions, guys, out of 35 in quant. That's a huge number. So arithmetic still stands out to be the most important paper, important section in quant. Okay. Then we have DI. So DI we had 2 tables and 1 pie chart. All of them were 5, 5, 5. So 5 3s are 15. And this was the easy. One was easy, one was moderate, one was easy to moderate. Again, here it is not difficult, moderate because it is difficult to solve. It is moderate only because the calculations are a bit lengthy. That's all, nothing else. Otherwise, they were doable. If you are okay in calculations, you are doable. Okay, no geometry. Atharva, there was no geometry, I believe. All right. So now, guys, I am getting into the section that you're all waiting for. What could be the cutoffs? Right. So let's take a look at it. This is basically what we are giving based on last year's cutoffs. This is an easier paper. The absolute top at 99.9, if you are going for JBIMS, that's the score you're going to look at. Okay. We predict that the cutoffs will be higher. 99.8. So compared to last year, you can see there is a 6 marks increase this year because the paper this year was relatively easier over last year. Especially the English was relatively easy over last year. Last year RCs were difficult. This year the RCs turned out to be easier. They were doable. Similarly, quant was also doable. So a lot of these factors will increase the cutoffs for this year. Okay. Music core. This is for slot 1. Yes, Tejas. This is for slot 1. There were no mensurations, Bharat, no mensurations, no geometry, no figures like that at all. QA was on the easier to moderate side, definitely not moderate. It is in between easy to moderate. It was not exactly easy, but it was between easy to moderate. Lot of easy questions with few moderate sprinkled across. Okay. Siddharth, I believe that this particular paper was in line with what we gave, because we thought we were giving an easier paper, but this time the paper turned out to be easier because our paper was actually slightly easier. This year's mocks were slightly easier than last year's actual paper, because we knew what happened last year. We thought it might not go more, it will not be more difficult than that. So we kept it slightly lower in terms of the standard, and this year's paper matched what happened in the mocks for us. So that way that's basically what happened. So there were, by the way guys, if you notice in Quant, there were some simplification questions. Where was that? Yes. There were simplification questions. I think 1 or 2 questions or 2 or 3 questions were simplification based. I wrote one here, but I'm not really sure, because when I went through the questions, one felt like simplification, one felt like an analogy. I didn't really go through that. But yeah, something around 1 or 2, very straightforward. Multiplication, division, those kind of questions they asked. Ria, yes, JBIMS take 99.9798 or 99, something like that. Not even at 99.9. Okay, they don't have too many seats. Yes, there were no data sufficiency at all. Data sufficiency questions were not existing, or they did not come. Alright guys, so that brings me to the end of the session. I hope you guys got an idea. So please be in tune with our channel. I'm going to come back to you tomorrow in the morning. I'm going to take, in the afternoon at 2 p.m. I'm going to take 2 or 3 p.m. I guess. I'm going to take a live analysis for the slot of tomorrow morning. See you guys, all the very best for tomorrow's exam.